Now we come to arguably the very butt end of the religious problems at home, because it all culminates with Mary, Queen of Scots. You already know a fair bit about her just via mentions from other topics. Like, for example, she is a Catholic, she has a right to the claim of the throne, and she's been the inspiration of many revolts, such as the Northern Rebellion and so forth. But we need to know more about her to be exact to exactly what is going on with her. Well, is Elizabeth that concerned, frankly? So, to give you the very start, Mary was the only person in line to the throne of Scotland, which is, at this time, was a Catholic country. She was crowned Queen of Scotland at 8 days old, and eventually decided to move to France for a couple of years to marry the King of France. Now, while she was in France, she was not in Scotland, and technically the French leader or the French king ran Scotland, but he passed away. And Mary returns to Scotland to basically find that Protestantism is becoming more and more popular, which makes her more and more unpopular in Scotland. In fact, actually, there was a worry that she'd killed her second husband, and essentially the people of Scotland hated Mary, and they threatened her life. So Mary is forced to flee Scotland. The Queen of Scotland has to run away. She escapes to England to the care of her cousin, Elizabeth, right? They have a family connection. And Elizabeth now has a problem, essentially. She can sit here and go, right, this is a Catholic person, my family member. What's that going to do to me? See, a lot of students will often then go, well, why don't you just kill her, get rid of her? But if this is killing a queen. So if you're going to kill the Queen of Scotland, you are going to really mug off everyone in Scotland at this time. They're going to feel like they could declare war on you. So we can't really kill her. But the choice that Elizabeth makes is just go and keep her alive, but not imprisoned. Well, but imprisoned. So let's just think about that topic. Why has she not actually just gone and killed Mary? Well, how does Elizabeth look if she kills Mary, right? She looks like she's willing to kill family members because of this. She doesn't care about family. It looks like she really, really hates the idea of Catholics running England, and looks like she really, really, really hates Scotland. Some of those statements might not be true, so maybe killing Mary is not a bad idea. And also, frankly, has Mary committed any sort of crime yet? She's the inspiration for rebellions against Elizabeth, but that does not mean she actually has taken part in one. And frankly, how will Elizabeth look if she kills Mary and Mary is innocent of any crime? How will anyone else feel that the Queen's just started to kill people left, right, and centre that threatens her power? It sounds insane. So, what happens then if Mary definitely does commit a crime? See, there's one final plot against Elizabeth you don't really know about very much. It's this last moment. It's called the Babington plot. And in lesson, I would have given you a little story handout, but I'm going to try and explain to you what goes down here. See, Anthony Babington, he is a noble and he's a Catholic and he is a big supporter of Mary, Queen of Scots. And he decides to come up with his own plan to, classically, as I'm saying classic because so many rebellions follow this, they're going to assassinate Elizabeth, they're going to poison her, they're going to have Spain come in and support their whole, should we say, organisation, and they are communicating their plans with letters. They code their letters to take part, and they even message Mary, and Mary starts taking part in these letters. Now, Francis Walsingham, what a spy master. Some of the people involved in this Catholic plot work for Francis Walsingham, work for Elizabeth, and they start decoding the messages for Francis and essentially, well, telling him that there's a plot to kill Elizabeth. And, well, Francis Walsingham lets this continue. He lets the letters get sent, he lets the plot get more and more organised, because eventually all of this becomes evidence that Mary, Queen of Scots, is implicated or has taken part in a plot to get rid of Elizabeth. This is the first ever proof we have that Mary did want to kill Elizabeth, technically, at this point. Now, once they got captured and killed, well, once they got captured, sorry, with coded letters like this, well, Mary is put on trial. She is put on trial in front of a load of Protestants saying, what happens to you afterwards? And she actually makes a really good point. She is a foreign queen. She can't betray a country she's not actually in charge of or actually a part of, arguably. She was just being looked after. But in 1586, after the Babington plot, Mary, Queen of Scots, is killed. Now, This actually was a real struggle for Elizabeth for this to even happen. This pot was a really big deal because Elizabeth kind of had to go, right, I have to figure out whether I am going to look a certain way. Because imagine, she's killing a queen. She's setting a precedent out that killing a queen is a doable thing. So if you think Elizabeth has committed a crime, you could technically kill her. This whole execution was good and bad in different ways. See, frankly, firstly, the Catholic threat to Elizabeth has ended, right? There is no possibility that anyone can go against Elizabeth now because there's no replacement for her. But have you ever heard of a martyr before? A martyr? Someone who's died for a cause. People can now talk about Mary as if she's done everything for Catholics around the country. And to be honest, it could inspire the Catholics to dislike Elizabeth more. And as well as that, the future king, or the current king of Scotland, who is the future king of England, my favourite, James VI, it's his mum. So she's just killed a very close king's mum. And actually, I think she had to send him a letter of apology for killing his mum. And then, lastly as well, yes, just like I said before, she's made a precedent now that she's killed a queen. You're now allowed to kill queens, according to Elizabeth. This might end up bad for her. If you can recount the story of why Mary is in Elizabeth's care, what the Babington plot is and how it goes down, and even what is on my screen here, the problems that are solved or created by Mary's execution, then you probably know this topic. This one is very closely connected to Sheffield Manor Lodge, and I urge you to watch the video on that as well. But please, thank you very much for listening. Have a nice day.